Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome tonight. Sim, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this. I mean, it's been all over internet about this Indian man that was on red carpet. His name is Shah Rukh Khan, right? That he didn't like they were saying that he was not properly recognized, and I am asking, why are they saying that he was not properly recognized? Because if you look at the video, you definitely will see that Tiana Taylor was very respectful, and I don't know, I am sure that she took her time to learn to pronounce the man's name, and everything was like well pronounced. There was no error. I mean, they asked questions. It was really a very good one. And Indians and Asian Americans are actually saying that he was not well represented. That I mean, like all of a sudden they are cursing the black women out for not respecting or not knowing the man. So how come they were able to talk about him, that the Bollywood industry, his name was well pronounced and all that? So other people may not know that man, right? But the women that interviewed him knew him so well for them to might have asked all the questions they asked. So what is the problem with you people and anti-blackness? And also always looking for a way to drag black women down. What is the problem with you people? Because at this point in time, I don't get it. Let's get into this video.
Are here with Shah Rukh Khan, who is the first male Bollywood actor to attend the Met Gala. Please tell us how it feels to make history tonight.
I don't know about history, but I'm extremely nervous and excited. And Sabbe here, Sabbe Sachi, who convinced me to come here. I've not done too many red carpets. I'm very shy. So for me, it's the first time. But looking at you both, it's wonderful to be here.
Oh, thank you. The carpet tonight is actually blue. So does that make you any less nervous?
Yes, now I'm absolutely all right.
It's okay now.
Now I'm all there now. Now
Everything changes when you find out it's a blue carpet.
Right. No, the blue carpet look good too.
Yeah.
On everybody.
I think so. I think so. What are you most excited about tonight?
For me, most exciting is I have little kids who are very excited about Met. I don't know if I would have come here on my own, but when Sabia suggested that I should come, they went, wow. So I still don't know, is it wow? They call you. Wow. That'll be good on it.
What was your inspiration behind this look, like tonight's look?
Tonight's look is because I told Sabia that I only wear black and white, but what is designed for me is what I'm most comfortable in. That's how I think it should be. So I'm really excited.
And just
the stick special.
Yeah.
I
That's
love this.
cold.
and just to give you a little bit of context, Shah Rukh Khan is probably one of the most famous men in the world, and his fan following is legendary. And we nearly had a stampede outside the hotel when he came out. And you know, when you get a man like this on the red carpet, especially when it's Black Dandy, I think representation is the most important thing, and we wanted to represent Shah Rukh Khan as Shah Rukh Khan and nobody else.
Okay, well, Sabi, I think you did your thing. Shari, you look fantastic. I hope your kids are proud. You got to be proud of Dad. Dad did his thing.
Dad did
Show
his
the
thing,
kids
yeah.
that you daddy on a carpet. Now you got to go on a carpet and show the kids.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'll be so
Dad.
cool on the carpet
Yeah.
for my kids, you don't know.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'm gonna do it. I'm a rocket, yes.
All right.
Dad.
Thank you
That
so
carpet.
much.
I'm so convinced that a lot of non-black people just get on this internet just to troll black people. Because where's the disrespect in that interview? Where's it at? It's the disrespect in the room with that. Nothing about that interview was disrespectful. And I think you guys need to really, really understand this. And I know who he is because I watch Bollywood movies. A lot of people don't know who he is. Again, I know him because I watch Bollywood movies. But people in the United States that are not around people that watch Bollywood movies don't know who he is. And it's so funny because these black women gave him so much respect. And there was a white woman that literally asked him, "Who are you?" And y'all are attacking the black women. Y'all are attacking the black women that weren't disrespectful to him. They didn't disrespect him. The interview was him being interviewed with actual interview questions that you would ask someone that you are interviewing. Nothing was hostile about what they said. They were simply interviewing him. And he was the first Bollywood actor to be invited to the Met Gala. It was historic, and they were giving him his flowers. And you guys saw that as disrespect? Interesting. It's so funny because you guys are so innately anti-black and you don't see it, but we see it. No matter what black people do, you will come your motherfucking asses on the internet just so you can figure out a way to be pissed off at black people. Because why exactly are you pissed off at these two black women? What are the reasons behind you being pissed off? What, you're upset that they didn't bow and kneel and kiss the ring as soon as you walked up to them? No, they're not going to do that because they're celebrities also. They're celebrities also. So they interviewed him as the celebrity host that were interviewing other celebrities. And again, not to belabor this point, they didn't ask, who are you? They knew who he was and interviewed him as a guest to the event. A white woman asked him, who are you? And y'all have nothing to say about that. But you got everything to say about these two black women. And you think we don't see it. And don't delete your video that you put out there with all of your confidence. Keep that video up so we know who you are. Going forth, we know who you are. Keep it up. We want to know who you are.
I just watched an Indian woman try to explain solidarity to her audience, but she started by insulting the black hosts for Vogue's red carpet / blue carpet. Teyana Taylor is famous in her own right. Okay, they both are. And she was probably the best dressed there. She looked amazing. Why? Because she understood the theme. It was Black Night about black fashion and black history and black culture. And I know no one wants to talk about it, but when did Shah Rukh finally get an invitation to the Met? Was it when black people were in charge? Oh. You can't have a conversation about solidarity where you still center yourself on someone else's stuff. It was their night. They didn't owe anybody anything. And when I keep hearing, they didn't do their research, what didn't they research? It is a red carpet interview for a night about fashion and their culture. He got an invite. They said his name right. They acknowledged the historic moment of him being there. And they asked what he was excited about. It's a red carpet, not 2020. If you want to have a conversation about solidarity, maybe we can start with Indian people not centering ourselves when it was not our moment. I am so excited when I see Indian people in the mix anywhere because I'm so used to seeing a few Indian people who are kind of anti-Indian in their presentation, who, you know, they only write characters who won't date Indian people, and they write shows where they kind of stereotype us into the things that we're used to being stereotyped into. And so, of course, I'm like thrilled when we are a little bit mainstream and we're seen for our humanity that isn't just our Indianness. And that's exciting. Of course, I was excited to see Indian people at the Met Gala, but not so excited that I think we should ignore that Black people had a Black theme for their Black artistry and their Black history about their Black struggles for power and identity in this country that doesn't love them being Black, even though they built the whole thing. So no, they shouldn't have done more research. They absolutely did enough research. And I love Sabia. I was in an elevator with him once. I'm sure that's, I got to know him real well. But he picked the wrong moment to gas up his friend, because people on this end of it who look like me took that as he had to explain him. They didn't get it. They did get it. And one last thing, if you are going to make clips where you say he ate and oop and all kinds of borrowing from Black culture for your language, and then you're going to talk about how they didn't do their research, and then you're going to talk about how you should be centered in the middle of their conversation and their night, be embarrassed, because that's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. All I want for all of us is solidarity. We're dealing with a lot in this country right now. And I've seen people say, there's just a lot of Indian hate lately. It's escalating, and that's why people are sensitive. What do you think Black people have been dealing with in this country for way longer? Without the Immigration Act, which followed the Civil Rights Act, we wouldn't even been able to come here, okay? At least my wave. My parents came in the 70s. So we got to give credit where credit is due. And if we want allyship, if we want solidarity, if we want to survive this chaos that we're living right now together, we're going to have to start by not doing this.
If it was two white women who interviewed Shah Rukh Khan at the Met Gala, this would not have been met with any of the discourse that's currently happening. The entire backlash is rooted in anti-blackness. I'm going to show you a interview of the legend Babyface and how he was rudely interviewed, rudely set aside, just so you can see what an actual rude, dismissive interview looks like versus what Shah Rukh Khan experienced with Ego and Tiana Taylor.
The genre with hip hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Hello, how's it going, Chapel?
We are here with Shah Rukh Khan, who is the first male Bollywood actor to attend the Met Gala. Please tell us how it feels to make history tonight.
I don't know about history, but I'm extremely nervous and excited. And Sabyasachi, who convinced me to come here.
The only person that was rude in this entire interview process was this designer. He walked into that room with a goal and a mission to present himself and Shah Rukh Khan as the most famous man in the world because he assumed that no one would know who he is, which I understand. We understand as black people. We understand representation and why it matters. But to show up at the Black Dandy event, being interviewed by two black women, and after they acknowledged the man, said the man was was making history by being the first Bollywood actor, and then you still wanted to double down and be rude to them? Let's call a spade here, guys. The women are not the one in the wrong.
And just to give you a little bit of context, Shah Rukh Khan is probably one of the most famous men in the world. And his fan following is legendary. And we nearly had a stampede outside the hotel when he came out. And, you know, when you get a man like this on the red carpet, especially when it's Black Dandy, I think representation is the most important thing, and we wanted to represent Shah Rukh Khan as Shah Rukh Khan and nobody else.
Okay, well, Sabi, I think you did your thing. Shari, you look
I will scream this from the mountaintops until I die. When black people tell you something is anti-black or it's due to racism, take a second, take a beat, look internally within yourself and ask yourself, could this be the case? There's a severe history of anti-blackness within the South Asian community with us. So I think that's the reason for it. Do with this information what you will. Have a nice day. I hope you guys stay blessed. Don't call me a person of color or POC. I'm black. If there's anything this Met Gala debacle with Shah Rukh Khan and Tiana Taylor and Ego has taught us is that whenever black people are highlighted or given a spotlight in this country, the other people under that POC umbrella either feel attacked, either feel less than, or either feel the need to boost and bolster themselves up. This is like a repeat of what happened with the Latinos in the Sinners movie, a movie made about black people, and then they want Latino inclusion. Now we have a person that's a Bollywood star and his stylist trying to prove the point that he's super important and prove the point that he matters. And what's happening here is that all of these South Asians are in these comment section making videos trying to prove that they are just as important as black people, or they deserve to be more important than black people by bringing up Beyonce, bringing up Rihanna, bringing up Michael Jackson, saying that this man is more important, more famous than anybody in the world, and Americans and black Americans are not the only famous people. This same night, there was a white interviewer who literally said to Shah Rukh Khan's face, "Who are you?" Because she didn't know who he is. And that video is not being used in any example to say how rude, disrespectful, and unprepared these interviewers were. It's the video of the two black women who actually knew who he was and was respectful to him that you guys are using to dogpile on. Let that sink in. And when I made a video saying that this is rooted in anti-blackness, you guys say, well, why don't you have to bring race into it? Because your actions are racist.
I'm just saying.
The fact that it's completely lost on you that this man is, in fact, one of the most famous people in the world, but he has never been invited to the Met Gala. He got invited to the Met Gala when who was in charge of it? Black people. When black people were able to focus on black people, other minorities from around the world were hyper-represented at this year's Met Gala. But that part was lost on you. You want to be upset that black people were the focus. I've gotten so many comments saying, well, why is it only about black people? Why are you guys making everything about race? The anti-blackness within the South Asian community is a very real thing. You guys have caste systems within your own country. You guys treat your own dark-skinned people a certain kind of way. So in this country, not realizing that all the things that happen to black people impact you is kind of crazy. The more power, access that we have, it trickles down to every other minority group in this country. But you guys are so caught up at saying that you're important that you're losing. Proximity to whiteness is something that Asians definitely suffer from, and it's a very real thing. And it's the same thing that a lot of Latinos suffer from. And at the end of the day in this country, you'll never be white. You will always be seen as other, and you'll always be seen as brown. And the fact that you lack the understanding and the knowledge that solidarity amongst black and colored people will always make all of us do better is the issue. Yes, this is anti-blackness. No, they were not rude. Yes, they knew who he were. Yes, he's one of the most famous people in the world. No, he's not the most famous person in the world. I can take white people from Scandinavia or Europe and they won't know who he is. Just like I can take someone from Australia and America and they won't know who he is. Someone from Peru or Haiti won't know who he is. That's fine. Stop talking about black people. Stop trying to bring down black people to boost yourselves up. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, and I'm going to hold your hand while I'm doing it. The average American has no idea who Shah Rukh Khan is. Matter of fact, I'm an entertainment reporter. I went to work today and I asked a few people, do you know who Shah Rukh Khan is? And they all said no. And these are people who have been in the industry 20 plus years. And two things can be true at once. He is an international, global superstar, a living legend. He's not relevant in American pop culture. And that is by design. America for a long time has only exported its culture, media, art as a means of soft power and never imported it. And it's to perpetuate this false idea that America is the best country in the world, the best at everything, and the rest of the world's media, music, movies, etc. is subpar. Only recently is that changing with social media, the internet, streaming services, importing entertainment from the rest of the world. So we have K-pop, for example, Nollywood movies, Bollywood movies. Even let's look at the name Bollywood, for example, which is a combination of Bombay, which was the former name of the Indian city Mumbai, and Hollywood. Right? So it still centers the American film industry. Same thing with Nollywood, which is Nigerian Hollywood. So I think the anger towards Ego and Tiana is misdirected because they did not disrespect him at all. But I think it's this frustration with America. Now we think we're the center of the universe and that has created animosity. We're very sheltered from the rest of the world, deliberately. Even the way we teach geography in schools isn't the way they teach geography abroad. That's why the average American, when you ask him where India is going to point to Brazil. Things are changing. We are bursting through our bubble. We are getting exposed to different cultures, different languages, different influences. And for some, that is seen as threatening, including this current administration. I also know how hyper-focused our entertainment outlets are on American pop culture, and not just American pop culture, white American pop culture. And in fact, the irony of all of this is the fact that this was the first Met Gala to put a spotlight on Black style, and how for too long that has gone unacknowledged, unappreciated, appropriated. And this was supposed to be the moment that was spotlighted. And so the whole point is, we're all fighting the same fight, y'all. And it is misdirected anger to take it out on those two women. Love them. I think they did a good job. But it's not lost on me that job hosting the Vogue live stream was held by Andre Leon Talley, who was fired and ousted from that position because they wanted Liza Koshy, a YouTuber, who, it's not her fault, but they wanted the eyeballs, right? With the changing social media times, they wanted somebody with a huge following instead of somebody who was a fashion historian, who had extensive knowledge of the industry. He knew every stitch, seam, sequence, inspiration, every designer down to the T. He was worldly and knowledgeable about different cultures. But in today's day and age, that's not important anymore.
I done figured it out, y'all. I done figured out the issue, okay? The reason why they keep saying that America doesn't really have South Asian representation when actually we do, right? We have Priyanka, who married Nick Jonas, and she done been at the Met a few times. And then I've been a fan of her ever since Quantico, right? That's Bay right there. And she was like America's darling for quite some time. She was everywhere. I mean, all over the place, right? Highly covered, okay? Then I got my other favorite show I like to watch, which is The Walking Dead. There's a lot of American Walking Dead fans, and they had a lot of South Asian representation, right? Then we got a lot of South Asian representation in our government, okay, and all over the place. But I figured it out. Once I done found out that SRK, okay, was promoting skin bleaching, okay, and then we done found out about the caste system and all this other weird stuff they got going on over there socially, right? Their social structures and beauty standards, et cetera, is that America tends to like the darker South Asians, okay? We tend to uplift them, right? And that's not who they uplift. And I think that's not who they want to be represented by, so they consider them to not be representation, okay? That's what it is. Because I'm like, why are y'all all saying, oh, there's so little South Asian representation? And I'm like, I can think of many places where there is South Asian representation. Like, I feel like we done seen South Asians all over the damn place. But I realize why they don't feel like, and there was other, South Asian representation at the Met. The reason why, I think, is one, because it's women. It's a lot of women. Patriarchal systems and stuff like that. Maybe they don't value women as much as they value men. Okay? And also because America tends to uplift the darker skin South Asians, and they don't identify themselves with the darker skinned South Asians. Okay, a lot of colorism and stuff like that going on. So that's why. That's why we find it's the interesting thing about America is America finds beauty in the things that a lot of people's home countries don't find beauty in. Okay, we find things beautiful that a lot of people don't find beautiful. Like even in the fashion industry, right? Super, super dark skin models, top tier. Like we went freaking crazy over Lupita. Okay. Models that have a gap tooth, right? They have a gap in their mouth, or freckles, or what's the word? Vitiligo, right? These various different things that people view as being unattractive somehow always end up being extremely celebrated and accepted in America. And I think that that's what ends up causing a whole bunch of problems with countries outside of us. Because our dynamics here and what we find socially amazing here, which is the quirky and the unique, and even the, what's the word? The undesirable, right? All of that is what we find to be amazing, right? Is what we tend to uplift, right? The body positivity, the skin positivity, the self-love movement. A lot of these things started right here in the US of A. Okay? We have a lot of issues in regards to racism and shit like that, but then we also have this sense of loving a good underdog. So yeah.
Oh my God, honestly, they knew who he was. They knew who he was. They said his name correctly. They said, how does it feel? What are you feeling about being the first Bollywood actor to attend the Met Gala? What else did you want? Y'all wanted them to bow down and kiss his feet? Why? This event was to celebrate Black American culture, Black dandyism, from which our ancestors, and I'm not talking about like way back in the day, my second great granddaddy, my third great granddaddy, my great granddaddy, my granddaddy, my grandmama, my people, our people created a culture that was us being celebrated at this event, okay? This man attended. We don't know who this man is. And y'all are saying because we did not say, oh, king of all Hollywood, Bollywood, the whole industry, oh, holy Shah Rukh Khan, wow, we are blessed to be in your presence. Reel it back, okay? Back it up, Terry. We don't know that man. We don't know him. And y'all are talking about, it's something about, oh, well, Western Americans are so self-centered. Baby, it's not our fault they don't market y'all's men to us. It's not our fault that they don't market him to us. We don't know who this man is. They knew who he was because they were doing an interview with him. They knew who he was. They just didn't roll out a purple carpet and put a crown on his head when he showed up because it wasn't about him. This event was not to celebrate Bollywood. This event was not to celebrate y'all's culture. This was to celebrate black dandyism. Why is that a problem for y'all? Why are y'all upset? Okay? Because my thing is, y'all are sitting up here making video after video after video talking about them not knowing him is South Indian erasure. What? No. You know what's South Indian erasure? This is erasure of y'all's people. That's y'all's man right there. There he go right there. We know him now. We know him now. We sure do. Mr. Fair and Handsome himself, we know him now. We know him now. And the fact that y'all cannot take this man being invited to the Met Gala as the first Bollywood actor, icon, whatever the case is, as a win for y'all, but instead found it something to complain about because it wasn't made all about y'all, is very telling. It's very telling. On top of the fact that y'all are screaming, crying, kicking, and throwing tantrums for us to celebrate this man who is the face of bleaching creams. And y'all are confused and baffled as to why Black Americans don't know who this is. But we are the ones doing the erasure. We're erasing it. No, what's actually happening is y'all are centering yourselves. It's a very white thing to do. Y'all are centering yourselves at an event that was meant to celebrate blackness, which obviously y'all have a problem with. What did y'all want? What did y'all want? It sounds like y'all wanted the whole event to be centered on Bollywood simply because this man attended. He was an attendee. He was a guest like everyone else. It wasn't about him. This was not to celebrate South Indian culture. This was not to celebrate Shah Rukh Khan. This was not to celebrate bleaching creams. This was not about y'all. This was an event to celebrate Black dandyism in America, and I don't understand. Why are y'all not understanding? What y'all are not getting? Why are y'all so upset? It's giving anti-blackness. Can we not?
What are you most excited about tonight?
For me, most exciting is I have little kids who are very excited about Met. I don't know if I would have come here on my own, but when Sabya suggested that I should come, they went, wow. So I still don't know, is it wow? They call you. Wow, that you'll be good on it.
What's your inspiration behind this look, like tonight's look?
Tonight's look is because I told Sabya that I only wear black and white.
I'm sorry, the way some of y'all talked about this interview, you would have thought they offered to sacrifice his firstborn. As someone who watched the entire interview, I'm not really sure where the disrespect was that all of you are alluding to. And I think what a lot of people who have never done interviews may not know is that when you do interviews, you almost have to assume that not everyone is privy to the same information. So there might not be the same base level of knowledge. And so while I may know who Shah Rukh Khan is, that doesn't mean that all Americans do. And that was mostly geared towards an American audience. So it shouldn't be a surprise when the interviewer has to ask very basic level questions in order to bring the entire audience up to speed about who a person is or what is the particular topic. This moment that should have been about the coming together of cultures, about expanding American knowledge about Bollywood artists and actors, instead it's being used to try to say that Black Americans or Americans are dumb and not knowing who someone is. I guarantee you that's like, how often do you see Bollywood movies being pushed in America? Exactly. You almost have to seek them out because America tends to isolate its citizens from perspectives and cultures outside of our own borders. So let's stop the fake outrage.
You cannot say Americans think we're the center of the universe and then get mad when Americans don't know who you are, because the reality is that man wouldn't be at the Met if it wasn't for Black people. Let's keep it a bean. And apparently, according to him, he had to be begged to get here by his designer. He didn't even want to go. And I find it very interesting how a couple of you creators are sitting here talking about how Tiana Taylor and Ego should know who he is. And then in the same breath, you're big upping a man who did a skin bleaching commercial. And then you're talking about you have issues with your skin tone. I find that suspicious. I find that suspicious. The reality is we don't know who he is. Just like there's plenty of Black actors and actresses that I know because I was raised on their movies and you guys have no idea about because they are Black people famous. They're Black Hollywood famous. And the fact that you guys are not harping on the white woman who was like, who are you? And he had to tell her who he was shows me that you guys are anti-Black. You're anti-Black. You have a problem with Black people. Because you have a problem with colorism, you have a problem with a caste system, and should we know about this man? Possibly, but my attitude is still the same. If you don't care about Americans, because Americans think they're the center of the universe, you shouldn't care about people at the Met Gala knowing who this man is. And the man wasn't even on theme. He didn't even try to be on theme. Like, come on.
The reason why I don't really fuck with a lot of you POC communities, especially the ones that can look like black people, is because y'all are in steady competition with black Americans. Well, black people, but specifically black Americans out here. And the competition that you think exists is always consistently one-sided. See, you all have been talking specifically right now to the South Asian community. You all have been getting your ass handed to you on this internet. A black woman's internet. And I ain't talking about Beyonce, baby. I'm talking about the bitch that created it. You all have been getting fucked up. Okay? And you're all getting fucked up by the same person that you sit at bended knee for. Okay? What would you like? This is what you ask Caucasian people every single day. You are in constant competition with black Americans because you are consistently wanting and vying for not only the approval, but for the attention of Caucasian people. And Caucasian people pay you no motherfucking mind. And for some odd reason, since all Caucasian people do is hyper focus on black people, even though we are not asking for it, we don't want it, we want to be left the fuck alone. You think that your issue is with us. You are mad. You are consistently mad. The way that they wanted to strip the visas because they said that y'all are nothing but the DEI hires. The way that they sit there and tell you when you come from your country that you can't be doctors and stuff like that. You don't qualify because your education out there ain't shit. The way that they treat y'all and create y'all into these low income jobs out here that you have to work not just as hard as black people, that's a lie, but you gotta work hella hard, way more harder than them to try to get into places. The way that they push y'all into black communities because they don't want to live amongst you, and they create stereotypes and stories and ideologies about how you look and how your hygiene is and your food and all the other types of stuff that they do. The way that they talk about y'all, the way that they disrespect y'all and demean y'all, it's just like you are so beat down by them, but you won't have the gumption, you won't gain the balls and the spine and the backbone to do anything towards those people. So you think that the next best option is to kick us? You sure about that? You sure you want to do that? And I'm getting all of this because of that whole Shiru fucking conversation. What the fuck that man name is? For you to sit there and have to pay somebody to blow smoke up your ass and call you this mega world star, please understand that a mega world star doesn't have to identify himself as a mega world star. That's one. And what I also find interesting is that a lot of you in your communities, y'all acknowledge the Met Gala. You think that the Met Gala is one of the best social events of the year, that anybody who's anybody is going to attend. So why are you not angry at the fact that Anna Wintour has never invited your people? Why are you angry at the fact that Anna Wintour and the Met Gala has never thought to bring Bollywood out over here on Grace the Steps? Over here, Mr. Megastars? But in fact, the Met Gala was about black culture. The Met Gala said black dandyism, where elegance and resistance or something like that meet. The Met Gala was being handled by black people, black women. And it was black people that acknowledged your people. It was black people that brought your people over here to grace the steps. And the bare minimum that your people could have fucking did was be respectful to our culture and be on theme. But they had to censor themselves and came in there to make themselves comfortable. Because you all don't have no level of clue of solidarity. You have no idea what that is. And because you have no idea what that is, I promise you, you will not succeed in the way that you think that you will out here. You know why? Because too many of you are still bending over, spreading cheeks, trying to, like I said, get the love and the acceptance of the same people that can't fucking stand you. Of the same people that pay you no motherfucking mind. Of the same people that disrespect you at every opportunity that they get. Good luck with that one. And black people, stop thinking that there is some level of camaraderie that you are ever going to gain with anybody in this world if they are not Negro. We gonna fight amongst each other, but we gonna need to learn that fighting amongst each other is nothing more than family fighting at the dinner table, but all we have is each other. Black people in the diaspora need to come to terms and get that shit a grip with. I don't give a fuck in your individual lives how many people that you've met that you think is okay and you want to try to hold respect for the entire community. These are the same people that do not do the same thing for you and your people. They do not want their children with you. They believe that you are the scum of the earth. Bollywood is not worried about having black culture and black Americans or black people out in their lands and do anything with them. They believe that you have deserved everything that you have received in the past and what you are receiving now, because they are refusing to see past their own issues, and they are refusing to realize that the way to freedom and the way to success is to go against the people that can't stand anybody that doesn't lack the ability to not fry in the sun.
Y'all are making stuff up. There's nothing in this interview that would indicate that they didn't know who they were talking to. You could tell she even practiced how to say his name. And asking him, how do you feel being the first actor from Bollywood to be on this red carpet, is a legit question. Were you expecting them to go through the whole filmography? Even when the designer said he is one of the most famous actors in the world, she almost broke her neck saying yes. Those women are normally very boisterous, very casual, very lax, very jokey. And both of them were standing there at attention, which I read as ultimate respect. Now, were they the best interviewers? No. But I don't think that means that they didn't know who they were talking about. They were probably enamored or just in shock. This man is a legend. You can't watch any romantic comedy. You can't flip through Netflix. You can't watch any action movie without his face popping up. You can't even go get Indian food without this man's face popping up. Do you really think they aren't cultured enough to know who he is? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I don't see anything else. I think he arrived at the Met Gala, and I don't think he got the recognition that he so rightfully deserves on the red carpet. And I think that they felt some kind of way about that, which rightfully so, because the truth is, I didn't even know he was there until 3 days later. I think this is an unnecessary crisis, unless there's another clip out here, or it's a cultural thing that I'm just not aware of. I see two women that were possibly starstruck. I don't see how you could honestly believe that they did not know who they were talking to. Like, where are y'all pulling that from?
This is all I got from this video, and I am going to start by saying that even if people do not know that man, the people that interviewed him knew who he was, and they asked questions accordingly. There was never a mistake. There was never a denigration. There was nothing disrespectful about the interview. They were very polite and they asked the right question. And while making research, when I saw this, while making research, I also found out that it was because of the people, Ego and, sorry, I can't remember the other one's name. Tani something, sorry about that, but yeah. It was because of her that they invited this man. And you can imagine all these years, you all know that they've been doing, what's it called, Met, right? And they never invited this man, right? And some other people too. But he got invited, right? Because Black people recognize them. And they also recognize who he is and probably what he has done, right? For, being a popular person too. So what is the problem? Why are they looking for a way to crucify Black women? Because at this point in time, it is given, I am obsessed with Black people. Tiana Taylor, right? So what is the problem with Asians? What are they? Why are they Indians? I think let me not just put everybody why are they being crazy right now? Why are they saying that they were not recognized? What do you want Black people to do? What do you want the people at the red carpet? So they should have removed the red carpet that was there and probably put a green carpet to make it look like He is being recognized and all that. Did they mispronounce his name? Of course, no. Did they say anything rude? Of course, no. So what is the problem? They felt like more, what is it called? That they should have recognized. How else do you want these people to recognize them? Like, really? It's such a missed opportunity because Black people are generally ready to hype everybody. If you look around, especially people of color, there has never been a time that when anytime Black, see, I don't know, we are not the perfect humans, right? But one thing I know is that Black people do not joke with, no matter what it is, Black people we do not joke with other people of color, irrespective of what may they have done and all that. They still look for a way to bring everybody, bring them into what is going on. So there was never a misrepresentation. There was never a disrespect. There was nothing, anything. Questions that were asked accordingly. And they also recognized who he was. So what is the problem? Why are they looking for a way to crucify Tiana and Ego? What I didn't get it. Now, each time we talk about POC standing together and all that, and I am like, I don't see all this really happening because the people you want to bring in on board are not, we always look for a way to, to make you feel like you are silly or you don't even know what you are doing. And also, look at an Indian woman saying that the man doesn't also, I am not saying that he doesn't deserve to be recognized. He was recognized properly. But she is saying that the man doesn't need that recognition because he sides with whites and all that, like all the videos and all that he has shot so far. You will never see diversity in his videos or something like that. But people are so quick to come out to say Black women did not give him his accolades. No, I think they should go and buy staff of authority and hand it over to him so that Indians will know that or Asians will know that he was well recognized and all that. You can quit all these pity party, something that you all always look for a way to gather. Now, leave Black women alone. You can say anything, but my Black women, I don't joke with them, so don't even try. I am going to draw the curtain here, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.